Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Sydney, Australia, and happy long weekend to everyone who is currently experiencing a long weekend. I have one here in Australia. It is, in fact, Australia Day today, and I know that also in my hometown of Auckland, there is also a long weekend. It is Auckland anniversary weekend this weekend, and from memory, no, it's not. It's not Waitangi Day next week, is it? New Zealand. That's the week after. So it is. It is a fantastic day here in Sydney, in Australia. I can. When I was up this morning making my coffee, I was looking out at the ocean, and there was a lot of recreational boats and the like already on the ocean, experiencing the pleasures that is, Sydney during the summer, and getting together, obviously, with family and friends today. It is a moment to celebrate our our togetherness in this amazing country. I know can be quite contentious for some people, and I absolutely respect and honour anyone who finds that a little bit controversial. For us, immigrants to Australia, we are nothing but grateful for a country who has taken us under their wing and protected us and looked after us. But I have to say, a lot of that protection and being looked after, it's been a lot of hard work. We really have put in the hard yards, and we continue to put in the hard yards every single day. So yes, it is a long weekend. And good morning to Stephanie. Good morning to Ruth as well. And good morning to Claudia. Yes, as you know, our immigrant story is one that for so many people, especially in Australia, have. And it's the same with back home as well. I am Indigenous to New Zealand. So I am Māori. And being Indigenous to New Zealand, being a native, it is like I've always embraced my my culture, and it can be a little bit hard being an Indigenous person outside of your country, but Australia really has looked after us, so we are very, very grateful. Good morning also to Susan and Daphne and to Kirsty, and also good morning to Carolyn as well. So being a long weekend, well, I'm actually in the kitchen all weekend. That's my lot. I've decided to use the long weekend when there's not as many emails. The phone hasn't rung once. I don't even know where it is. Like, I'm looking around going, where's my phone? I don't even know where my phone is because my phone's not ringing. People are not trying to organize meetings with me. Our team in the warehouse is having a well-deserved long weekend as well. So there's nothing to post. Well, there are things to post, but we won't be doing that until Tuesday when the team's back at work. And I've chosen to spend this long weekend in the kitchen because, of course, I've got to start thinking about the next boost camp. Even though we are at the end of week 2 of the current boost camp, I'm already in new boost camp mode. And good morning also to Felicity and to Nat for joining us. Martina, good morning from Australia. And also g'day to Sharon. G'day, Sharon. And hello to Robin. Good morning, Tony. And good morning to Sandra as well. So, yeah, it is a long weekend. Wow. Which means I have 3 days of almost undisturbed kitchen time, which is pretty cool. I am enjoying it. All day yesterday, I spent, well, probably not all day. I actually did manage to get to the gym. I decided it was time to leave the house. I've been working for about 9 hours in the kitchen. I was like, it's time to leave, testing recipes. Had a lot of fun actually testing the recipes that I did test, because the next boost camp is going to be an anti-inflammatory approach to our food, which for me is super exciting because inflammation really is problematic, isn't it? It is problematic. Bernadette's just saying, good morning. I bought your book, Healthy Kitchen, and was going through it yesterday and find there are no serving sizes, as in, what is my best? Oh, sorry, Bernadette. So this is from Bernadette asking, anyone jump in, please, and help me with this answer as well. I think what you're asking for, Bernadette, is it feeds hang on, but I find there are no serving sizes as in it feeds 2 to 4 people. Please help me. Oh, Bernadette, you just double the recipe, my darling. If it's like the very first yellow book, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, was actually designed with single serves in mind. So because it is a real focused target approach to weight loss and health gain. And so it was not as family friendly as my second cookbook, which was more from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Now, both of those books are sold out. So I'm really impressed that you managed to locate one, Bernadette. If you are struggling, and again, it's the same with Boost Camp. Boost Camp is designed the recipes are designed for one person. And we have people on Boost Camp at the moment that they're not just doing it with on their own. We've got people who do it as a partnership, like husbands and wives or best friends, or people who live in the same household are doing it together, so they just double the recipe. And then we've also got families. Hands up who is part of a family that's doing Boost Camp at the moment. Share in the comments so Bernadette can see that it is absolutely possible to just double the recipe, and then you can feed 2 people. Now, I would highly recommend, Bernadette, that you do come and join Boost Camp, because it is even more of a targeted approach, because of course you get the meal plans, which are awesome. You get more up-to-date recipes. The yellow book is great, but our understanding of food science and nutritional science has moved on, because that book is nearly 8 years old now, Bernadette, just so you know. And the recipes that we're doing now, I mean, this is the type of stuff that we're doing now. Hey, guys who joined Boost Camp, this is what we eat now. That was our Christmas one, because that came with that Christmas ebook. But you can see top line there, we've got the most amazing open sandwich. There is also a gorgeous, oh my God, that second one in the middle there, that's gorgeous too. That is a lovely a wrap. Oh, there's that 10-minute burnt bust cheesecake, sushi bowl. There's different types of chocolate puddings. We make bread rolls and stuff them full of gorgeous things, pizzas and all sorts of wonderful things. So I highly recommend, Bernadette, come join us on Boost Camp. You will not be disappointed, my darling. It is going to be a fabulous. And as I was saying, that's not Boost Camp. Where are we? Here we go. As I was saying, the thing I'm super excited about with this Boost Camp is it's an anti-inflammatory approach. And when we are focusing on so much more than just, we've got that really targeted approach to the way that we're eating, it creates such a wonderful environment inside of our body. Because one of the biggest challenges that we have is all the pro-inflammatory foods that we consume all the time. And it's one of the reasons why I'm talking about the fact that, did you know, guys, did you know that the average person, this is crazy, the average person puts on 1 to 2 kilos over the holidays? Did you know this? Well, I knew this. I absolutely knew this, and I'm laughing because it's true, isn't it? Like, the average person puts on that much weight over the holidays. And with that weight gain, often comes guilt and comes a lot of inflammation as well. So today we're talking about, what are 5 ways to reverse that holiday weight gain. And why is it that the average person puts on? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? And was definitely very obvious to me when it was happening. So that's what we're talking about today. 5 ways to reverse the holiday, the dreaded holiday weight gain. All right. So we've got Stephanie who's saying, there you go. I just double it if someone is staying with her, which is wonderful. And this is from Tina. All the recipes are huge servings too, so a lot of them could easily possibly be shared. I know, Tina, right? What a lot of people do if they're not sharing it is they freeze half the portion so that their repeat week in Boost Camp becomes so much easier. Thanks for that comment, Tina, as well. And this is from Carolyn. My hubby eats BHK with me. His line is always that, what's for Bridget's dinner tonight? Think he might be hooked. Hey, that's a good hook to be a part of. And isn't that your gorgeous husband in that photo there, Carolyn? That is absolutely stunning. Someone's asking about the pre-ordered books. I'm going to be posted. I pre-ordered the Healthy Delicious book. So for Nat, great question. I actually had answered this question over in our private group, BHK Family, today. Someone was asking the same thing. So We have been, and I can only give people an estimated date because it's an entire container. It's a 20-foot container of books that I have arriving. Those books obviously need to come on a ship. They are not posted as in air freight. They need to come on a ship. They then land in the port of Sydney. I'm waiting just like you are, Nat, and just like the rest of us are waiting. Is anyone else waiting for their book to arrive? I'm waiting too. Thankfully, I've got my author's copy to keep me company, but I am waiting for those books to land as well. We were given the estimated date of end of January, which is now. It is the 26th of January. So anytime now. I am just taking into account that it's a long weekend, which means nothing's happening on the ports. Nothing is happening with truck logistics, because once the container has been cleared of customs, to make sure there's nothing illegal in my books, obviously. Once that container has been cleared, it then goes onto a truck, and that truck is then sent to my warehouse. That container is then unloaded into my warehouse. So all of that takes time, and the truck logistics, they don't work on a public holiday. So I'm just like, no, it just means another day delayed for all of us. So it is on its way. Like I said, we've been told end of Jan, and it's end of Jan. So it's any day from Tuesday next week, Nat. Any day. What that day is, I don't know. But trust me on this. As soon as it lands, I will be there with my phone taking videos and images and letting all of you guys know here in the community that the books have indeed landed. But because that is the case, can I also remind you guys of one thing before we get into our main topic for today? Because the book, where are we? I don't even have an image. Damn, thought I did. Never mind. Because the book is due to land soon, for anyone who has pre-ordered, you get the discounted rate, right? For anyone who has pre-ordered, all you got to do is go to bridgets.shop to pre-order your copy. And that's cool. That's running across the bottom of the screen. I clicked the wrong one, but I actually like it. That's really awesome. This is me playing around with my little apps technology, eh? Gotta love it. So if you pre-order your copy now of the book at, go to bridgets.shop and pre-order your copy, you get the discounted rate. And of course, this is for anyone who's not bought the latest book. The book is all Boost Camp approved recipes, which means you get to have a hard copy of all the recipes that people have loved from all my previous 40 Boost Camps that I've operated, right? So this is the fan favorites. They're all Boost Camp approved, which means that you get to have a hard copy of Boost Camp approved recipes in your kitchen. And if you order now, you get the discounted rate because it's still on pre-order. Once the books arrive at my warehouse, we are stopping that discounted rate. And you also get to go on the draw to win that fabulous, absolutely fabulous prize, which is a trip for two to Sydney. My God, can't believe it. A trip for two to Sydney, where you will get to experience, what a beautiful city this is for a start. It is a trip for two from any major airport in Australia and New Zealand. I will fly you in with you and a friend, you and a boyfriend, you and a girlfriend, you and a husband, you and your best mate, you and your whoever it is, you and your child, does not matter. Whoever you want to bring with you, you get to come to Sydney. And when you are here in Sydney, you'll be able to experience the joys of this wonderful city for a start. But I will put you up in 5-star accommodation, which is one of my favorite hotels, 5-star hotels here in Sydney. You'll get gourmet breakfast for two. If we get the timing right, you'll also get, and that depends on your timing, obviously, on when you can take this wonderful vacation holiday. We'll also get you joining us at the official book launch as well. So you get all these wonderful things if you join us. Yahoo! You get all these wonderful things if you join us, and all you got to do is pre-order your copy now of the book. And chances are you want to get it delivered to you really soon because it's the end of January, and these are the times that I've been given from our shipping agent, from the company that is helping it to be taken off the ports. This is the dates that I've been given, end of Jan. Very, very, very exciting. So from Martina, amazing about your anti-inflammatory is what my body system definitely needs the most. Yep. Martina's saying she's still struggling with health issues after first COVID infection. Inflammation flare-ups out of the blue. Yep, and only boost camps keep them somewhat contained. That is correct. So inflammation, and good morning to Mindy. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to Trace as well. Inflammation is problematic, let's be honest. And for many of us, we don't quite, we haven't quite linked how inflammation works when it comes to the body. And one of the things that I absolutely know as a nutritionist who practices functional nutrition. So I don't take the normal approach, which is count your calories, eat from the food pyramid. I'm just like, no, no way. Forget about it. You know, that is the traditional outdated approach to weight loss and weight maintenance and health gain. So I take a very functional approach to it. So I look at the body as a holistic system. And when it comes to food, we look at the body, not in its pieces. Like if you've got fatty liver disease, that is completely linked to your entire body and how your body responds to the fact that you may have fatty liver disease. If you've got high blood sugar, if you're pre-diabetic, or if you are type 2 diabetic, if you have Hashimoto's disease, if you have, high blood pressure, if you're dealing with heart issues, if there is some other type of illness and disease, we know that wherever there is illness and disease, inflammation also thrives as well. So that's why we're doing an anti-inflammatory approach for our boost camp. But let's talk about the holidays, because as I was saying, it's a long weekend here in Sydney. It is a long Australia, and it's also a long weekend in Auckland as well, Auckland, New Zealand. And for many of us who are currently living with that long weekend, it's an opportunity to get together with family and friends. It's an opportunity to, to get outside, because it's obviously still summer here in this part of the world. It's an opportunity to kind of have a bit of a relax after what may have been a crazy couple of weeks, getting back into the working process. And with those times where we may let go a little bit, it is not uncommon for us to put on weight. And for some people, that could be unwanted weight gain during this period. And even over a couple of days, there is still the opportunity to let yourself go a little bit too much. So it's common, it happens. And if we're looking at that, if that happens every year, you put on 1 to 2 kilos over the holidays and you don't deal with it once the holiday period is done, that becomes 1 to 2 kilos at this time of the year, 1 to 2 kilos at another time of the year, let's say Easter, or 1 to 2 kilos, maybe if you take holidays throughout the year, and then that cycle just keeps on repeating. So I'm going to be talking about my top 5 ways that you can reverse that. So not only reverse it, but how can you deal with it quickly? How can you deal with it effectively as well? So let me know if, there we go. Oh, this is from Trace, talking about Boost Camp. Wish we could get your program on board in the hospitals. My sis in hospital and the food is awful. She is gluten-free and the offering is terrible. Sugary food, etc., processed meats. It is problematic. The place where we go to get well is often full of the most unwell causing foods. And it's it's not just a bit problematic, as you were saying, Trace, it's awful. It really is awful. And I feel for your sister. Any chance you can take us some food? It was not funny, but just before we get into our main topic, when our son was in hospital, and he was in hospital for a couple of months. Luckily, he was a child at the time. He's now a man, but he was a child at the time, which meant that as parents, we could stay with him. He was in a closed off room because he had an infectious disease. So it was pretty scary. It was life-threatening. It was pretty scary as parents. And one of the things that I was able to do was to obviously make sure that I had good food with me when I was staying in the hospital, when my husband was taking over, or we had grandparents that were able to take over for a few days, then I would always make sure there was good food there. But I got really good at cooking in microwaves. I know microwaves for some people are a big no-no, but man, when you're in hospital and it's the only way to heat something, I was actually cooking things from scratch in this tiny little kitchen and microwave just so I could eat healthy, because the food was just, It was a shocker, wasn't it? An absolute shocker. And yeah, not something that we want to have to be doing over a long period. It was oh, they were back. I just changed Wi-Fi's because I noticed it's really bad at the moment, isn't it, Mahi? Are you noticing that? Are you on the Wi-Fi? Could you get on? Could you?
No, I'm not on.
You're not on. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Sorry, guys, if we are glitching. I've just noticed that. Yeah, it's not. It's not the greatest. So let's talk about this holiday weight gain and what are 5 ways in which you can reverse that weight gain, and not just reverse it, but are there things that you can do even today if you're you know, a third of the way through your long weekend? Is there things that you can do even today and tomorrow that can ensure that that does not happen? So the number one thing that you can do, well, I've actually got 6, but one of the things that I say to people all the time, and it was funny, we had a conversation about this online over the last couple of days in our BHK family page. Was it family or boost camp? I can't remember which one of our private pages we were discussing it on, but I think it was the 28-day boost camp private page. And one of the top things I recommend, and this is a life hack as well, guys. This is something that you can do all the time, but it's really helpful during long weekends or holiday periods. Is you need to swap your high sugar breakfast, so toast and cereals. You need to swap it for protein breakfasts, high protein. So even if it's holidays, even if you're going through today and you're thinking, what should we be having for breakfast, or what are we going to have for breakfast tomorrow, rather than starting your day the traditional way, which is toast and cereal, or maybe pancakes and waffles, if you're going a little bit, you're being a little bit more more luxurious in your approach to breakfast. Try swapping those breakfasts for something that's high in fiber and high in protein. Now, here's the reason why, and this is the science behind it. When you start your day with something that's high in sugar and starch, so toast, cereal, waffles, pancakes, of course, unless they're one of my pancake recipes or one of my healthy waffle recipes, if you're going the more traditional flour, sugar, dairy approach, which is basically toast, cereal, and pancakes, what you're getting is a steep rise in your blood sugars. So your blood glucose, or your blood sugar, is going to go on a bit of a high. In fact, you're going to be high on sugar, or whoever's eating that food is going to be high on sugar. And because you're high on sugar, and what goes up must come down, you're going to get the inevitable crash of blood glucose. And when you crash down, because it literally is, it is the way the body works. If you get a sugar spike, which is toast, cereal, pancakes, jam, all the stuff that we traditionally look at as being the holiday breakfast, right? Especially if you're doing pancakes and waffles or something a little bit more, even brunch-like, you're getting this massive blood glucose spike. What goes up must come down, because it's how the body works, and you have this crash. And I want you to focus on that word crash, because that crash actually means that you're getting a huge drop in how you feel, because you're crashing. You're getting a huge drop in your energy, crashing. And the other thing about that crashing is hormonally, your body's a little bit imbalanced. Well, actually, it's crashed. It's a lot imbalanced. And your body's job is to bring you back up into a balanced position. So because you've crashed, the body's like, we need something to get us up again because we've crashed. And you start to crave more sugar and starch throughout the day, more gluten, more toast, all those sort of things. You're just going to crave them throughout the day as your body wants to bring you back high again. And of course, a couple of hours later, you start looking for the next sugary, starchy, glutinous, grainy type of high, and you have something else. Maybe you have a muffin, a couple of hours later, or maybe you grab a toasted sandwich a couple of hours later, or maybe you're outside and it's a sausage and white bread, sausage on the barbecue, sausage sizzle, right, which is very traditional at this time of year as well. And you have that and you're high again, and then you crash. And then your body gives you, says, look, let's just have some chocolate. Let's just have something, that we can find in the pantry while we wait for the next meal. And you are literally on that sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day. So how can you avoid that? Because that is honestly that breakfast start. And this is why I will always say, do not negotiate on your breakfast. Even if you don't get lunch right, even if dinner is, already pre-planned and it's not going to be the greatest, do not negotiate on your breakfast, because the chances of you continuing on that roller coaster and you keep on snacking throughout the day and you're always looking for the next sugary high is really hard to avoid, because your body is trying to find balance for you. So you want to start your day with fiber, protein, and a little bit of healthy fats, which is basically Boost Camp breakfast is what we do. So for example, today, if I wasn't on Boost Camp having the breakfast, I would be having something along the lines of one of my high fiber waffle breads that I make. It takes 3 minutes in the waffle iron, make myself a little high fiber waffle bread. And then I'll be doing some protein on that. For example, it might be some leftover protein chicken or something from last night. It could be a little bit of nitrate-free bacon that I throw on there as well. Maybe a poached egg, maybe some avocado, maybe a couple of slices of big fat tomato, maybe some mushrooms on the side, right? Fantastic. High protein, high fiber, healthy fat breakfast, and very holiday-like. So that's how I would approach breakfast. Well, that's how I always approach breakfast. And for many of us, this is what we have to do as well. So that's number one. Number two, even though it's the holiday period, or even though you're just coming back from the holidays and you want to reverse that weight gain, keep on practicing or keep on implementing time-restricted eating. So rather than waking up and looking for food, delay your breakfast by a couple of hours, and also have your fasting window. You keep on sticking to that fasting window as well, which is really important. So keep on practicing time-restricted eating, or try implementing time-restricted eating. And if anyone wants to know what time-restricted eating is, people call it intermittent fasting, which means that you have an eating window of where you consume all your food, and then you have a fasting window. The ideal fasting time for the human body is anything from 15 to about 16 hours. That is the ideal time. Anything longer than that, and you can run into the risk of not eating enough during your eating window because it's too condensed. Anything less than that, you are getting some benefits, but those benefits really start to kick in around about the 15 to 16 hour mark. So that's the other one. Number three, have a plan for after the holidays. And of course, what is an idea of that plan? You know what I'm about to say here, don't you? Come and join us on the 28-day Boost Camp. Come and be a part of what is going to be a awesome next Boost Camp, because we are focusing on anti-inflammatory foods. We are focusing on the things that can reverse the holiday weight gain. Now, we are focusing on understanding how all these processes, like what you have for breakfast, matters. Time-restricted eating can be a great bonus thing to do on your journey as well. Having a plan for after the holidays means that, yes, if you do go a little bit all in and there's some unwanted weight gain and unwanted potential inflammation that you're carrying from the holidays, come join us on Boost Camp. We can reverse that, because it's really important that you do have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, here's the thing: if you don't have a plan for what happens after the long weekend, if you don't have a plan for what happens after the holidays, that 1 to 2 kilos of weight gain, it's going to be 1 to 2 kilos even more the next time you hop into a holiday. That weight gain becomes, that increase over time, that you suddenly turn around and you're like, how did I put on over 10 kilos in the last 6 months? How did I put on over 15 kilos in the last year? Because one of the things about aging that we all have to be really aware about is that one of the main things that happens to our bodies as we age, and yes, it starts in our 20s, it gets worse in our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, our 60s, it keeps on getting worse, is that our metabolism slows down. And if we don't adjust our eating to be because we're mindful of that natural slowing down of metabolism that comes with age. That weight gain increases. That weight gain is harder to lose because we're not just dealing with the weight gain from the holidays. We're also dealing with age-related metabolism reduction. And for many people, me included, when I was in my 40s, I did not know that that even was a thing. When I learned that, I was just like, oh my gosh, no wonder what I was doing in my 30s no longer works in my 40s. And now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, well, no wonder what I was doing in my 40s no longer works in my 50s. So we have to be really mindful about that. Is that weight gain over the holidays and we're not adjusting that the way that we eat, we don't have a plan on how we're going to lose the weight and gain back the health. If we don't have a plan moving forward and we don't learn what to eat, when to eat, and how to shop and how to cook. If we don't learn those things, we run the risk of that weight gain just going up and up and up and up. So have a plan is number 3. Number 4, this is actually a really cool one. Have you got a buddy to do this next stage with? So often we find that someone who's got a boost buddy is able to stay a little bit more accountable, is able to lean into it a little bit more because it's not just them on their own. And also, it just means that, you're doing it with someone, so you've got a partner and you can kind of watch each other's results. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't have a boost buddy, but having a partner or someone who you can collaborate with on this journey is really important or really awesome, because it does help us to stay more accountable and help us to stay on the program longer. But if you don't have someone in your close vicinity who you can do this journey with, you've got us. And I mean that, and I don't want that to sound really like she's just saying that. No, I really mean it. For anyone who is part of this community, you guys know that we are a tight community. You guys know that we are an inclusive community. So we don't leave people out. If someone wants to connect with someone online who's also doing this journey at the same time as them, we are all here to help to answer questions, to support, to give virtual hugs, to give virtual kick up the bums if you need that as well. There's just this vibrant community of people that are there for anyone who finds that they're going to be doing this journey on their own. You're not alone because you have us. And having us means that we'll get back to you, to answer your questions. And not many programs have that. They have that really vibrant community that is attached to their programs. And I believe strongly it's one of the reasons why Boost Camp is so successful. It's because we have community. We have engagement in our community. If you leave a message or leave a question in our community on one of our private pages, whether it's BHK Family on Facebook or whether it's the 28-day Boost Camp private community, chances are you're going to get a reply, and not just one reply. Depending on what your question is, you're going to get multiple people coming in and sharing their knowledge and sharing, and helping to answer your questions. So community is really, really, really important in that regard as well. So that is number 4. And number 5, these are life lessons that we teach on Boost Camp too. So I just want to give these to you guys. So whether you are in the middle of a holiday, which we kind of are, but I'm working today. In fact, straight after this, guess what I'm doing? Can anyone guess what I'm doing straight after this? I will be in the kitchen testing recipes. I will be doing, just kitchen stuff today, 100%. I still have a long list of recipes that I want to test for the coming up Boost Camp, the next Boost Camp. But what I will be doing is I'll be doing a fly on the wall style live me prepping on TikTok. So I'm going to be going over to my TikTok channel after this and just prepping and doing a bit of chatting. It'll be more fly on the wall this time, just kind of, observation stuff, because I've got a lot of stuff to do. And I do find when I'm on TikTok and I talk too much, I don't get as much done. So I've got a lot of recipes that I want to test today. So it'll be more fly on the wall as well. Just looking at Tracy's comment. Oh, my darling. This is from Tracy in regards to hospital food. And, my love, I do feel for you with your dad. And I know, Nutrigrain is because it's like that branding of that word. My goodness, I think it's a Kellogg's product. Oh my goodness, it is one of the best branding words for a cereal you can possibly get, because that nutri, you just think, oh, that's nutritious. That's nutrients, where we know it's just the exact opposite. And it's so hard, especially, when your mum's probably trying to do the best that she can do for your dad and what she knows. And oh no, spends all the day looking in the fridge for sugar. Oh dear. Oh my love. Yes, I do absolutely feel for you there. It's hard. It's really hard. And like I said, I'm sure your mum's trying to do the best that she can do for your dad, and having to look after him and care for him for all the other things. And we know that when it comes to the brain and sugar and inflammation and all the side effects of that. So my heart absolutely goes out to you there, Trace, with that one as well. This is from Bernadette. I find it hard when I'm working morning shift as a nurse, up at 4 a.m. to walk the dog before work, leave home at 5:20. So your first break at 9, I would be eating something good. I wouldn't be eating at 4 a.m. in the morning when you first wake up anyway. I would avoid that. I'd have my first healthy meal at 9. We've got a lot of nurses on our program, Bernadette. Like, in fact, I'm pretty sure there's nurses on here right now. If you're a nurse or you're in care, I can see one. I can see definitely two that I know of personally, just by doing a quick little scroll through the comments. Nurses, oh my gosh, there is so many nurses who do our program, especially shift workers, because of the inconsistencies when it comes to even being able to take a break sometimes, just the unusual hours that are worked, being on your feet, feeling fatigued, having to deal with humans, all the stuff that our amazing nurses have to go through every single day. So you've got a break at 9 a.m. Perfect. That's when you should be having your healthy breakfast, your fiber, protein. A boiled egg's not enough, my darling Bernadette, and strawberries with blueberries with a porridge sachet. You've just spiked your blood glucose, my love. You're on a sugar high with that porridge sachet. Unfortunately, oats are problematic in that they're one of the biggest types of carbs that we have that are regularly consumed. And again, just like that Nutri-Grain that Trace is having frustrations with when it comes to what her dad's having for breakfast. It's the same with porridge. For years, decades, in fact centuries. I am Scottish, so I'm allowed to talk about porridge because my Scottish heritage allows me. Porridge was like the healthy way to start the day because keep your energy high and lower. But actually, porridge is really, really high in carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are basically a form, especially like a porridge, is a form of instant energy to the body because you get a sugar spike. That's what, if you see something instant energy as a health claim, that's basically saying it's high in sugar or starch or carbs, which gives you a sugar high. And that's what, especially those porridge sachets, because they're just not porridge. They're usually like lots of horror, like check the ingredients. It's usually quite shocking. Bernadette, all I can say, you've got to come join us on Boost Camp. You will learn so much about how your body works. You'll learn so much about the types of foods that you should be eating. And of course, the types of foods that you must avoid if weight reduction and health gain is high on your list of things to achieve in 2025. So my final number 5 ways that we can help to reverse the dreaded holiday weight gain is that even during the holidays and especially after the holidays, like when you have your plan in place and you're ready to go, you're ready to kick in and go after the holidays, is make sure that you eat in order always. So this is a rule that I live by, and I don't have many rules. I'm a bit of a rule breaker, to be honest, especially when it comes to nutrition. But there are certain nutritional standards that I will not stay clear of. I will actually lean into. And these nutritional standards are literally the science. And even though I'm a rule breaker, and I like to do things a little bit differently, when it comes to the science on how our bodies work, I lean into the science because, that's how the bodies work, and often we just have opinions and traditions that we live by that actually are not necessarily that supportive of our health and of the science. So when it comes to the order that you eat your food in, or how you look at your plate of food, no matter whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, this is a rule that I live by. Rule breaker Bridget has some rules. This is one of them. So when you're in front of your plate of food, no matter if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it does not matter, is that I always make sure that that plate of food is made up of mainly plants, at least 70%. So I'm talking about vegetables, I'm talking about fiber. And this is where that struggle comes in when it comes to eating breakfast foods, because if you walk down your breakfast cereal aisle, you'll notice that there is pretty much nothing in that aisle that's going to support your health. That aisle is made up of sugar, starch, carbohydrates, the types of vegetables that cause weight gain, artificial flavors, artificial colors, especially problematic in children's cereal that they market towards kids. It's just made up of basically, it's just made up of things that are going to keep you addicted to sugar, keep you on a sugar high. So for me, my breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I'd never negotiate on breakfast, will always be at least 70% plants, fibrous plants on my plate. So yeah, I eat vegetables for breakfast, and we should all eat vegetables for breakfast. We just should. But you know what? My vegetables taste delicious. I was having a conversation with someone this morning about our Boost moussaka. So that's our eggplant moussaka, that you can have for breakfast, that I will often have for breakfast if I've got leftovers. I was having, we're talking eggplant and all these wonderful types of vegetables that I've hidden basically in the mince meat. The sauce that we make for the moussaka is cauliflower. So you're getting all these plants in, and I'm just eating something absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. So breakfast is always 70% made up of plants. I'll put pickles on the side that I make myself. Obviously, our little quick Boost pickles. I'll eat sauerkraut as well, which is really good for my guts. I'll have an avocado, all those types of really nice, healthy fats at the same time on my breakfast. So 70% of my plate is made up of fibrous plants. About 20 to 25% is made up of protein, and it's good quality protein. So it's either chicken or nitrate-free bacon, which I love, especially on the weekend. It's things like leftover, Boost moussaka from the night before, or some type of, wonderful dish that we've eaten. Maybe it's a leftover pork chop from the night before as well. Like, it's good quality protein, really good quality, 20 to 25%. And then the rest of my plate is made up of healthy fats, like that bit of that avocado. Healthy fat. Maybe there's a little bit of olive oil that I've made into a dressing that's going on top of some salad that I've made. That's part of, yes, I eat salad for breakfast. This is life lessons. The sooner we get out of the cereal aisle, the sooner we get our head out of the fact that we need to have cereal for breakfast and fruit. I never eat cereal and fruit for breakfast. There's just no way. I don't want to be on a sugar high. And that's what you're going to get from cereal and fruit for breakfast. I don't eat toast for breakfast. If I want a piece of bread, I make it myself. And it's usually one of my quick breads, right? Like, I'll make a whole week's load of bread in 20 minutes in my air fryer, and then just keep them in the freezer and keep some in the fridge. Toast them off when I want to go. Like, it's not hard when you want it badly. Nothing is hard when you want it badly. Well, it's still a little bit, can be challenging, but some people are like, I don't have time. I'm like, well, do you have time to be sick? Do you have time to be overweight? Do you have time to be exhausted because you're living on sugar and you're getting highs and crashes? Like, I cannot even begin to explain to you how much energy I have now compared with when I was eating crap, having toast and jam and cereal and porridge and Nutri-Grain and all that sort of stuff that my cupboards were loaded with, having all that food for breakfast. And then literally chasing the sugar demon for the rest of the day. And I was exhausted. I thought I had chronic fatigue syndrome because I used to want to sleep 12 hours a night, every night. Wake up, still feel tired. Brain fog, couldn't get through my day. And now, look at me. I'm about to release my 7th cookbook in 8 years, less than 8 years. I know, it's exciting. I've written 40 boost camps. I work 7 days a week. Don't care, like it, having fun. 12 hours, 16 hours a day. Yep. Can do. We've got so much going on this year. It it's probably the busiest year we've had so far, especially the start of the year. This first quarter, wow, it's insane, but it's so good. So, I wouldn't have that if I started my day any other way. And I wouldn't have the body that I have now, at 50 years old. The person who now is cycling 25 to 30 Ks a day in the gym as well as working. There's no way I could do all those sort of things. And maintaining my weight, improving my health, getting younger physically as I get older. Like all of these things come from understanding this process that we're all on right now. And that one of the best things about this lifestyle is it keeps on getting better. Like once you lean into it, once it becomes who you are and what you do, and you don't have to think about it, it's just you. I'm not on a diet, because if I was, I'd have been on a diet for 8 years. I'm not on a diet. It's actually coming up to my 8-year health anniversary in February, when I started my journey 8 years ago. Next month, I started my journey. And I can't even tell you how awesome this is that we've created. And it hasn't been easy. It's been challenging. But I could not have done it if I was still eating the way that I was eating before. There's no way. Well, firstly, I would still be extremely overweight. I would still be extremely miserable and depressed. I'm not sure. If you're new to Boost Camp, this is, I just want to show you this, or you're new to Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. So this was me over 8 years ago on the left. And yeah, that's kind of me when I took a little glam shot. A little glam shot. I mean, the difference in the face, there's quite a little bit of difference there. Slightly different from what I was 8 years ago on the left. That was me 8 years ago. And this is me now, right now, today. It's a pretty amazing turnaround, right? It's pretty amazing that I just decided that I had enough and started eating healthy food. And it's pretty awesome. Like, I can't complain. Why would I? It's, it just keeps on getting better. So come join us on Boost Camp. Don't be afraid. It is going to be the best decision you make for your health, your body, and your mind, and your energy, and everything else. And if I look at back what I've achieved, imagine what you could achieve. Because I had no plans on doing any of this. I just started eating healthy. This was not planned. I was just like, I'm going to write 7 cookbooks, and I'm going to create Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. None of that was planned. I just went, I've had enough of being overweight, fatty liver disease, pre-diabetic, miserable, depressed, anxious. I've had enough. Done. And I just chose to eat one healthy meal. And 8 years later, I'm chatting with you guys. It's pretty amazing. Come join us. It's pretty awesome. So I'm off to the kitchen. I am going to be going live on TikTok. I'm not sure when. I've got to set up the kitchen first. But, if you're on TikTok, I'm sure Mahi will let you guys know as well that I am going live once it is actually live. He'll let you guys know here on Facebook. Okay, everyone have a great day. Wish me luck as we test the new anti-inflammatory recipes for the next Boost Camp. Very, very, very exciting. Until then, everyone, be well and be safe, and we'll see you all real soon. And have a great long weekend if you are, in fact, having one. Enjoy and be safe. Talk soon. Bye-bye.